Talent, we are starting with foundation of Excel, the basic functions. These are building blocks. Even if you are advanced, you will find yourself using this daily. We will use our health and safety data set, which we are having a 40 records of workplace incidents, in which we are having a severity scores, training hours, lost in time days, and cost. Together, we will discover how these basic formulas instantly turn raw data into a meaningful insights. Cool. So before we begin, let me just quickly give you the overall glance how Excel looks. Okay. So these are the rows what we have, and this is what we called as a column. These are the ribbons which we can see it at the top: page layout, formulas, data, review, and so on and so forth. Okay, these are the sheets, worksheets available in one specific workbook. In data ribbon tab, we are going to extract that report over here. Okay, so we are just extracting that raw data set. So I have this raw data set available with me, which is having a 40 records. I'll simply import it, and then as soon as I import, it will give me the pop-up like this. Okay, either you can directly load it through this, or maybe you can simply do a transform over here. As I can scroll here right towards right, or maybe the left, right, I can see the data is clean. Okay, no need to do any kind of changes over here. So I can assume that this data is okay to insert directly inside the Excel. So I just simply click on this load button. Okay, as soon as I click on load button, you can see at one simple click we got this entries available over here. Okay, and here it will give you the overall glance. 40 rows has been loaded in the MS Excel spreadsheet. Cool. And this is the overall top, if you can see, right, these are the overall glance has been given. Start with a very basic function first. Okay, and then later on we will focus on the advanced function slowly steadily. Okay, so let's begin with sum function. Imagine your manager asks what's the total cost incident this quarter. So we just have to check total cost over here first. I'll just go right hand side and check the data, and then here I can see the cost USD. Can you see it over here? Correct. So this is the total cost, and then if I do a sum over here, okay, is equal to sum and overall this, close, hit enter. Cool. I will get a instant result, which is this. Now there are other methods as well to calculate a sum. Okay, so this is the one method. I'll just delete this part, and then since your data is already in the table, right, so in the table design there is an option called total row, right. As soon as you hit total row, you will get this row available over here, which is total, right. And if I go here right hand side, and the column was U, right, so if I go at the top, I'll just double check where is the column U available. Cool, here. And if I scroll it down, simply drop down will automatically get available because we have turned this option on, right. So I'll just simply click here and click on this option called sum, and then I'll get a result then and there. So this is the another method, which is method number 2. I just delete this, and if in case you want a quick calculation, right, you will simply click alt plus is equal to. So whenever you press alt key is equal to, you will see this kind of a sum automatically get added. Okay, you just have to simply press alt and equal to. And then if in case you want to do any other method, like we have added a sum formula, you can do it from here as well. Okay, you just have to double click here sum, and then simply select a range over here, number 1, which is this. Suppose this time I will select this at the top, and then bottom I can select like this. You can see the calculation result reflected over here, right. Either you can directly click on OK button, or maybe you can just say cancel. I just hit a OK button and I get a result then and there available. Cool. Great. So this is what the sum formula. Excel instantly adds all cost across the 40 records. That's the answer. The total cost impact of all safety incident this period. No manual calculator, no adding line by line. Sum does it in a second. And here is the real power. If you add new rows later, sum will updates automatically. If I calculate again sum like this, and suppose set it a new row over here, and I'll say this 800, this will automatically get calculated inside this specific cell, right? So this is how the calculation works in MS Excel, right? Just delete this because I don't really require that, and from here I will just turn this option off, right? Now since we have checked sum function, now it's a very basic function called average function, right? Now leadership asks on an average, how are our inspection doing? Okay, so this is the question, and majority times we see, right, these questions comes from leadership, that in terms of how we are doing a inspection, so what is the average number we are having. To do that, simply let's go there and check a that specific column, because what data is referring to, right? So we just have to go there, inspection score. Cool. So this is the inspection score where we will be adding a formula there. Cool. So I'm just highlighting this as a color, inspection score over here, and then I will simply add a formula over here is equal to average. Okay, and simply just go at the top and select this and hit enter. This is the result what I have got over here. Great. Again, the same story, we can do it table design, and then we can turn this option on, and then we will get a result then and there. Maybe you can click on this particular option, just type a average over here and then select it. Okay, so there are alternatives methods. We can do it this basic functions with the help of this alternative methods as well. And Excel tells us the mean inspection score, it's 83.05, right? That's our baseline. If next quarter average rises, right, to 86, we know safety inspection improved. Cool. Average is essential for tracking performance trends over a time, and majority times while we are creating a dashboard, that time we use this function more frequently. Next is minimum function. Suppose you want to know the lowest severity incident happened, right? That time we use this function. Now to check a severity where it is happened, right, so we just have to go ahead and check a severity score. If I do a filter, I got to know that this is the lowest one. However, when you have a larger data set, okay, that time this function really helps. Again, if you turn this option on, table row, you can simply click here and then you will get a result then and there. Or maybe you can just say minimum and just select a value like this, bracket close, hit enter. Okay, likewise you can do it either ways, whichever preferred step for you, okay, and which is helpful for you to get a data then and there. Now let me tell you the importance of this. Why care about the lowest? Because it shows your best case scenario. It gives context to overall safety performance, right? Since we are talking about the health and safety related data set, right, that's what the discussion is all about. Now the max, the similar fashion for max, I'll just go here, right hand side, severity score, here simply select a max from here, and then we can get a max result. If I apply a formula over here, max, we have to simply type over here and then select a range appropriately and hit enter. You will get a similar result then and there. Add a maximum, or maybe sometimes as a minimum. Suppose I'm adding a minimum over here, okay, and as an example I will be adding a simply minimum and maximum together. Suppose it returns, if you can see it over here, maximum is severity is 9 and minimum is 1. Okay, so if it returns 9, okay, in our example it's 9, which is correct, right? That means at least one very severe incident occurred. That's where your attention should go first. Together minimum and maximum give you the full spectrum from the best case to worst case. Formula, which is count formula. Count answers how many numeric entries are exist. Okay, so if I go here, lost time in days, in our data, right, column lost time in days tracks days lost due to incidents. Okay, so if I calculate like this, simply count, okay, this will give me the 40 result over here. 40 incidents led to lost time. This is a powerful because count ignores blanks or text. It's clean, reliable, and shows you where real number exists. Okay. Now count A. It's similar like a count function, but more inclusive. It counts anything that isn't a blank, text, or number. Okay. To calculate that, what we have to do, simply use A is equal to and count A function. Okay. I will just go over here and check if I can count this specific text over here, right? So what I'm gonna do over here is I'll just simply say here is equal to count A. Just double click over here and then simply select this range, right? Just select this range and I'll drag it like this, hit enter. I got a result like this. See, this option is not available, which is count A. Okay, to do that, what we have to do, simply click here, type here count A and click on this option go. Okay, and then you will get a pop-up like this, which is this specific function, and hit enter. Then you can add that function then and there, right? And this is how the beautifully you can add the functions. Sometimes decimals makes reports messy. Round keeps things neat and clean. Okay, so let's go ahead and check if in case we can see any numbers like a decimals added, right? Here we can see those. So what I'm gonna do over here is I'll just simply add a one more column over here. Right click, I'll just say round this specific number, comma, how many decimal we want? We want only one decimal, right? So I'll just say one decimal and hit enter. Decimal was a 2 digits, right? Now it is in 1 digit. If in case you don't really require, you can simply remove that as well. Okay, basis your own requirement. Perfect. When presenting data in slides or reports, nobody wants to see endless decimals. Let's move ahead and check 8th formula, which is roundup. Roundup always rounds higher, which is safer in budgeting. Okay, in our case, if I go ahead and check this values, right, specific to this. Okay, so if I want to round up that specific value, that time we can simply use this function. I'll just go down and here simply just say round up and I'll select this particular value over here, comma 0, bracket close, hit enter, and this is the result what I got. Okay, in here you can see 1719.52. now here we got a roundup value over here. Similar fashion, if in case you want to do a round down, okay, you can do that as well. Simply select this specific value, comma, and then just say 0 over here, hit enter. Okay, round up and round down in MS Excel. Okay, and this is how the beautiful example of round up and round down. That's our first 9 Excel formulas. Simple, yes, but without this you can't build dashboards, reports, or even start deeper analysis. With just this, you already have ability to calculate total for cost, find an average for inspections, spot lowest and highest risk, count valid records, round your data for reports. Next up, we will tackle something every real data set needs: data cleaning functions, because messy data is the #1 reason for Excel reports to get filled. Okay, so let's fix that upcoming series. I hope you found this useful, folks. So please don't forget to subscribe us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.